A massive win for Sheffield United as Big Ben strikes in stoppage time to win the game for the Blades here against Blackburn Rovers. A dramatic ending. Kevin Gage and Michael Tonge watched it. You were on commentary, Kevin. How are you feeling after that?
I'm still absolutely tingling, honestly. It was absolutely magnificent. That will go down in history as one of the great nights at Bramall Lane. Probably for all the wrong reasons, because we didn't play particularly well or anything, but just to grind that out was just fabulous, wasn't it?
Great scenes at the end, Michael.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Sometimes they're the best ones. Like Kevin said, we didn't play particularly well throughout the whole game. Started the game really well, but to hang on in there, down to 10 men, miss penalty from them, nick it in the final, kick of the game pretty much, was fantastic.
It's what goes around comes around, because early part of the season we just kept conceding last minute goals in unusual circumstances. Centre halves hitting volleys from the edge of the box flying in the top corner. We're just going, oh, what's going on here? So it's so nice for us to do it to someone else.
Sending off is a sending off, plain and simple, isn't it? We've seen the challenge back several times. It's not great from Charlie Goode, which is a shame because he'd been steady away, hadn't he, on his full debut for United tonight?
Yeah, he'd done absolutely fine. And so we knew he wasn't going to be a Chris Basham. He's more of a proper centre half, should we say. But it's just unfortunate that he made a fantastic tackle a minute earlier, got all the crowd riled up, and then he had the opportunity again to make a similar type tackle. I think he probably slipped. I don't think he intended to go two-footed and over the ball, because he just wouldn't do that. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he probably slipped on the way and just mistimed it. But it was no question, straight red card, no complaints whatsoever.
And the referee right with the penalty as well, wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah, I think John Egan's hand, it was out there. I'm not sure why, but if it is away from your body and you stop it, the ball was going across goal and he blocked it. So you've got to be fair. It was a penalty. It was.
Penalty save. Great save, or was he helped by the height of it? I thought it was a great save, but some might say, well, it's comfortable, it's a good height. But he needed to get a strong hand on it, because he hit it firmly enough, didn't he?
It wasn't the perfect penalty, was it? We've all taken penalties in our time, hard and low, and the keeper doesn't get it. So it was a good height for the keeper. But the keeper, it's always guesswork for the keepers, because if you've got to go one way, unless you stand in the middle of the goal. So if you're going to go one way, it's a 50-50 call. Having gone the right way, to actually get a really strong hand to that ball, that takes some doing, because he didn't miss-hit that penalty kick, Dedra. He got a good firm strike on that, so that was going at some pace. So for Wes to actually first of all get his hand up there and then be strong enough to deflect it away, absolutely top quality save.
Another strong performance tonight from Sander Berge, who just seems to be getting better and better with every game. This is his reaction to tonight's result. Sander, congratulations. What a dramatic end to that game. That must be a brilliant feeling for you and everybody in that changing room.
Yeah, it was massive. I never experienced that atmosphere after a game. We have a unique team, and the spirit has been high lately, obviously, when we climbed the ranks. And when Wes saves that and we go on to score in the 90th there with Ben Davies, probably the best feeling I ever had at Bramall Lane. So it was good.
Great celebrations at the end. You can see what it meant to everybody and the supporters as well. It felt like a big win because obviously a place back in the top six was at stake.
Yeah, no doubt. We saw Middlesbrough won last night, and obviously we wanted to get back in there. And Blackburn 4 points in front, one game more played, so we knew this was a massive one, especially at home. And I thought we started strong, but then they built a little bit into the game. They make it difficult. It was a dry pitch today, wind, a lot of second balls. Was a fight out there. But in the end, such a strong team spirit there to get back in, win the set piece, and then obviously score.
It was a strong start. First 15 minutes, they could not get out of their own half. The disappointment, obviously, lots of possession as well at the end of that first half, is that you didn't have a goal to show for it.
That was obviously the momentum. I think they came out a little bit better. They were positioned defensively a little bit more tighter. They were more aware of where we wanted to hurt them. So, the moment was in the first half, especially when we dominated the first 20. But yeah, they're a difficult side, and we know why they have been doing so well. So we must just take this victory on to the next one.
You seem to be getting better every single week. Is that down to getting a regular run in the side and staying injury-free?
Yeah, I would say so. Since I came to the club, obviously it was an adaptation from playing in, not as physical and strong in a good league in Belgium as the Premier League and the Championship is, and obviously more as a defensive midfielder where you see the game in a totally different way. You know, you're more like receiving a lot of passes, but you're more like building attacks. You know, dictating the tempo. While now, since I obviously came here when Wilder took me in, I was more attacking midfielder, and I played a lot of games there, but then COVID injured, and then you get like 10 games, so it's difficult to show yourself. And then we changed, obviously, manager beginning of the season, and then Hecky came back in again. So it's been a lot of changes, and obviously it's about getting rhythm, you know. And I never played in the Champ before, and I probably only had 5 games beginning of the season until I started playing now regularly in the last 3 weeks. So it's about getting minutes and finding a role, and I think in this system you get the most out of me when I can drive with a ball, when I can hurt teams, and probably my biggest strength is to take on players and eliminate and create an overload. So I mean, I think that's where they want to see me.
I think we've all been, I don't know whether surprised is the right word, but really impressed with the way that you can protect the ball, take care of it, shrug challenges off, you make it look really easily, and you're pretty quick as well. I mean, you're quite deceptive for a big lad. I think we didn't see that to start with, maybe because the role that you were playing in before. You mentioned it there, that this manager's encouraging you to drive forward, so it's an opportunity for you to use that pace to your advantage. Yeah,
I think so. That's always been my strength. When I was 11, I played as a winger and a striker when I played with older players, but then I wasn't so physical, so I had to use my skills. But then obviously the older I've got more the physicality side from mom and dad who's been basketball players, so I always known I could run. I think in Belgium and in Norway I was, played like so deep in midfield, but I was more like a runner with the ball from the deep rather than a passer. Yeah. And now I just taken that higher up the pitch, so it's more like, you create more rather than when you dribble their striker. It's not as big as when you dribble their defender or so, though. So I mean, you can hurt them a lot, and I think that gets the best out of me more.
I assume this is the happiest you've been during your time here. Even when you were getting games in the Premier League, but it feels like you've got some real momentum now, and you're seeing the best of you.
We beat Chelsea, Tottenham, Wolves in the week there one summer, and came ninth in the Prem. So depends on how you compare.
But for you personally, given all the problems you've had,
for sure, this is like the football I should play, and the team like now winning every game is something different than being in the bottom in the Premier League. So the team putting in, digging in every week to get results, and obviously we're climbing the ranks and know everything is possible now, so that feels good for me personally and everyone.
And for the group, is it a preference just to be playing games all the time, because there's not a great deal of time to be on the training ground working on stuff? It's just game after game after game. Millwall next, that's tricky.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one. Never been there, but I heard a lot how it is. So yeah, that will be an interesting one. But every game in the Champ is tough. Obviously, it's different to play home with a crowd in the back behind you, because you get an extra lift and you have an extra man out there. But away, you never know what to expect, and it's a fight. So you have to go there and really put in a performance.
You might learn some new swear words on Saturday.
I've heard so. Like I know
but don't repeat them. Don't repeat them. Listen, congratulations. You're going great guns at the moment. Back in the top 6. Great drama down here. Fans brilliant. Everything's good. Everything's good at the minute.
It's very good.
Nice to see you. Thanks very much indeed for your time.
Thank you.
There you go. Thank you. So that's Sander Berge, and Kevin, it's interesting saying that he's happier than he's ever been, even when they were playing in the Premier League. And I see where he's coming from, and that's why I made the point. Given his injury problems, he feels like he's found his groove. He's in the rhythm now.
Yeah, and he's been in the club, 18 months, 2 years now, so he knows what the club's about. He's probably settled into the area a bit more. He feels a bit more part of it. Yes, he was in the Premier League. He wants to be in the Premier League again, doesn't he? He's a top quality player. But it's very interesting to listen to him there. He feels like he's found his role in the team. After we've been discussing for weeks where to best play him. To be fair, we've been agreeing with him, haven't we? That's his best role. Yeah. Just slightly on the right hand side and making those surging runs forward. So now, hopefully, definitely, clearly, we've got a manager who's found the role for him and is willing to give him a run of games and has got confidence in him. And Sander's reacting and doing the job we got him here for.
I wonder if there's been a conversation there between manager and player, because he also said under the previous manager who was playing more defensive, now he's been encouraged to drive forward and show what he's all about.
Yeah, well, like we said at the start of the show, I think what the manager at the minute, Heckingbottom, has done really well, he's put people back into positions where they're comfortable. And I think everybody who's playing knows their role within the team. It's interesting to, like I say, listen to what he had to say. Seems a really nice guy, really happy here. And I think he knows that his job now is to create, drive forward. He knows what his strengths are, and it's all about trying to use those week in, week out. And the more games he plays, like he says, the more minutes he gets, the better he will get.
Back in the top 6, which is great, but not much time to dwell over this. It's back on the bike, down to Millwall, which is never an easy place to go.
No, thankfully,
as the old adage goes.
Yes.
Adage.
Thankfully, it's not the old Den, which is even worse place to go. But the new Den it's a difficult game. I think they've done all right tonight as well. They were winning at half time. Don't know how it finished, but yeah, it's a tricky away game, isn't it? But we go there. We're running out of players, by the way, aren't we? Because Charlie Good is now out for 3 games. So let's hope Basham's, back very, very shortly, because we've got a lack of bodies now. But we've got to go there and do a job on Millwall and be strong and be solid. But the lads will go there full of confidence. What we do know is we can play better than that. But what's pleasing for me, what I'll take out of this, is we've just ground it out. We've ground out a win today. We've found a way to get 3 points. Yes, we can. We know all about our creativity and we create chance after chance after chance. Today wasn't like that. Tonight wasn't like that. We've had to grind it out, and we've still come out on top.
Adage, by the way, is a reference to some of our live coverage earlier on when Kevin Gage's teeth fell out, just in case you're wondering what we were talking about. But that's encouraging, isn't it? That a team that can find different ways to win.
100%. That's what you've got to do when it comes to the crunch time of the season. You're not going to play well every week. You'll see it as the pitches dry out in the next month or 2. They're not nice games to play in. They're tough, and that's why we were saying it's really important, especially at home, because we've got quite a few home games, that the supporters stay with the team. Because tonight, if the supporters lose faith with the team, you might end up losing that game. But they stayed with them when they went down to 10 men, got behind them, and at the end we got 3 points.
So the unbeaten run continues, and it's off to the capital we go. Fellas, thank you, Kevin Gage as ever, and Michael Tonge. A winning debut, which is always good in our book. You're more than welcome to come back again. Good luck charm there. But you can, of course, join us this weekend as the Blades head to Millwall. Kick off 3 o'clock. We're on air from 2 as United win again here at Bramall Lane. We'll see you soon.